Express yourself through art and show the world your heart. Express yourself through art and show the world your heart. You're in the know with Esther and Larry. Art on the air today. Stay in the know with Larry and Esther. Art on the air our way. Express yourself through art and show the world your heart. Express yourself through art and show the world your heart.
Welcome. You're listening to Art on the Air on WVLP 103.1 FM and Lakeshore Public Radio 89.1 FM, our weekly program covering arts and arts events throughout Northwest Indiana and beyond. I'm Larry Breckner of New Perspectives Photography, right alongside here with Esther Golden of The Nest in Michigan City.
Aloha, everyone.
We're your hosts for Art on the Air. Our theme music is by Billy Foster with a vocal by Renee Foster. Our underwriters for Art on the Air are regional art patron Mary Levan, Walt Breidinger of Paragon Investments. Thank you for your generous support. Art on the Air is supported by an Indiana Arts Commission Arts Project grant through South Shore Arts and the National Endowment for the Arts. Thanks to Greg Kovach, WVLP's station manager, and Tom Maloney, Vice President of Radio Operations at Lakeshore Public Radio. Art on the Air streams live at WVLP.org and is rebroadcast on Monday at 5 p.m., plus is also heard on Lakeshore Public Radio, 89.1 FM every Sunday at 7 p.m., also streaming live at lakeshorepublicradio.org, and is available on Lakeshore Public Radio's website as a podcast. Our spotlight interviews are also heard Wednesdays on Lakeshore Public Radio. Information about Art on the Air is available at our website, brech.com/AOTA. That's Brech, BRECH.com/AOTA. That includes a complete show archive, spotlight interviews, plus our show is available on multiple podcast platforms, including NPR One. Please like us on Facebook, Art on the Air, WVLP, for information about upcoming shows and interviews. If you're interested in being a guest or sending us information about your arts-related event, exhibit, please email us at aota@brech.com. That's aota@brech, BRECH.com, or through our Facebook page. Art on the Air is always looking for financial support. We'd like to thank our current supporters. If you're looking to support Art on the Air, Esther and I especially would invite you to become an underwriter of this program in particular. We have information on our website at brech.com/AOTA. You can find out support information there. So don't just be an Art on the Air listener. Become a supporter or underwriter in whatever amount you're able to do so we continue to bring you great content and this great local programming. And like I say every week, don't give till it hurts. Give till it feels good. And you'll feel so good about supporting Art on the Air. And we'd like to welcome to Art on the Air Spotlight from LaPorte County Library to tell us about what's going on there. Greg Coulter, the Community Engagement Librarian, and Jennifer Bisonnette, Communications Manager. Welcome to Art on the Air Spotlight.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us. This is great.
We love the libraries, and we're so excited to hear what you have going on for the community.
So tell us what's going on, what programs you have coming up for LaPorte County, and everything else.
Yeah, so one of the big ones we've got coming up is the drawing class that starts in March, and that'll go through mid-May. It really is just like a way that we've refocused our collection towards to teaching. So part of our collection is we've got an online streaming service called Canopy, and through that you can access great courses. It's one of the places that I went when I was learning how to paint. So I did this course on my own for the painting course, and it was really helpful and really exciting. But the drawing class, it starts in March. It's going to be every Thursdays at the Cool Spring branch, which is the one on Johnson and 400 North. The nice big meeting room there. People can register to join those classes.
Is this a beginner drawing class? What are they going to be focusing on?
So people will watch the 3 Great Courses lectures for each class that we'll be doing. So for the first class, they watch the 3 lectures, super intro. So it's just literally intro to drawing. It's like an art history of like line drawing and how drawing came about, and how we've progressed from like doing some cave paintings to actually having a capacity for drawing 3-dimensionally. So that's one of the episodes that one of the lectures people will watch in that first class, or leading up to the first class, because then you watch these 3 at home, and then we all meet together and reflect on what we learned and share our exercises and just like keep each other accountable for watching the series. So 90% of the learning is watching these classes, and the last 10%, maybe 20%, who knows? I'm not doing the math. It's a drawing class. It's not a math class. We come together and just review what we've done, like practice and critique each other's work. So that's going to be Thursdays. But like I said, the first of the 3 lectures is Intro to Drawing. One is just going through the materials, so like pencils versus charcoal versus erasers, and then talking a bit about like drawing boards and like the actual like hard tools that you might use if you wanted to really invest in this practice. And then the third lecture for the first class is just like the drawing fundamentals and just like getting ready to start learning about lines and the grammar of drawing, as he called it in the class.
That's wonderful. And to do that, actually, you don't really need to start with any specialty. You just need paper and pencil.
Yeah, that's all. That's the
beautiful thing about drawing
is just paper and pencil and the access to these videos. And then we all just come together and just provide feedback and are constructive that way.
Perfect.
And then Jennifer wanted to talk a bit about some other programs we've got coming up too.
Okay, Jennifer, go ahead.
Thank you. So that's a really great, just the access to Canopy and things is something really cool that I think people maybe forget that you have with your library card. If you have a library card, there's just so many ways for you to connect to your creative side, whether that's coming to check out some books or use some ebooks. We have different access to different apps so you can learn on the go. There's different databases you can use. There's a bunch of streaming services and just electronic resources that you can use to really enhance your knowledge of almost any subject you're interested in. So like Greg said, there are the drawing courses. You can do that whole course on your own if you don't really want to sign up for something right now. And something we're really excited about is that we just brought in Creative Bug, which if people don't know what that is, it's an instructional type of platform where you have access to creative projects, and it's led by instructors. They're videos you can take at your own pace. You can take notes. They tell you what you're going to need to accomplish the project. And it's really exciting. You can learn to knit, crochet, paint. There's even some bookbinding courses, which I thought was really cool.
So do you need a LaPorte Library card to join in on all of these?
Yes, for that one, you do need the LaPorte County Public Library card because it'll ask for your card number to get into the system. But without that, it's a platform you would have to pay for. So it's a really cool thing for the community. And to help promote it, we have a really, really awesome giveaway opportunity for people. So from March 1st to March 31st, if you're interested in the Creative Bug giveaway, you can go online. So anyone 14 or older with a LaPorte County Public Library card can go onto our website and complete the Creative Bug training that we have there. So that's through our LaPorte County Public Library Academy, and it's the Learn tab on the right-hand side of our website. You can search for the course. And anyone who completes that before March 31st will be entered for a chance to win a Cricut Maker or one of 2 $25 Joanne gift cards. So we thought that was really cool, a really fun way. And we're, of course, encouraging people to come share their projects on our social media with us and let us see what you're working on, what you've learned.
Very good.
Do you have a lot of engagement with that now?
With our social media?
With your social media, yes.
Yeah, we are starting to get quite a bit of engagement as we share different things. So for anyone who doesn't know, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we do have a Pinterest and a YouTube as well. So you can find us there or, of course, online at laportelibrary.org.
We'd like to thank you for being on Art in the Air Spotlight. Jennifer Bisonnette and Greg Coulter, thanks for sharing what's going on there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. This is great.
Thank you.
You're listening to Art on the Air, WVLP 103.1 FM, and on Lakeshore Public Radio 89.1 FM. This is part 1 of Art in the Air's COVID-19 Update Special.
We are fortunate to be able to revisit with several of the guests featured in last year's COVID-19 series from the beginning of the pandemic. Now we are checking back, wondering how they have survived and hopefully thrived during this tragic, historic time.
So let's listen to part 1 of Art in the Air's COVID-19 Update Special. And now in our special Art in the Air Spotlight on COVID-19, we'd like to welcome David Kreiner. He's an artist and musician. And, of course, what we want to talk about, David, is the impact it has on you. So welcome to our special edition of Art on the Air.
Thank you.
Aloha, David.
Hi.
Yeah, we're kind of interested in what the last year has been like for you.
Gosh, I think I'm just starting to kind of realize that it might be affecting me. And the isolation, I guess, and the lack of normal stimulation has kind of, I guess, led me to sort of retreat inward in certain ways.
Yeah, you don't realize how not seeing somebody's face, like when you're going out and you see everybody in masks, it's really quite an emotional experience.
Yeah, it's sort of like there's an incompleteness to communication that I feel.
But your work, I've noticed your work, I always think that you just can't get any better. And then you take this leap and you take your paintings or your music into a whole deeper connection or level, for me at least. It's so contemplative, both your music and your paintings. They really complement each other. And for me, it enhances, especially the music. I usually like to work without music, but your music enhances my contemplation, I guess, when I'm working on something.
Well, that's nice to hear.
So David, what have you missed during this time in terms of COVID? Things that you, even outside your artistic life?
Well, I don't know if I can even go outside of it. I miss doing things like events, and going out with people and sitting down and having dinner together with someone. Or I've gone to a couple art openings nonetheless, but I miss the interaction that happens with other artists, I guess, and an audience.
What have you been working on during COVID? Lester says that you allude to, but let our audience know.
I finished 2 musical albums. The first one finished last spring, and it's called DCKM, and it's made up of myself and Kirk Markarian, and it's sort of a marriage of electronic and acoustic guitar sounds. And then more recently, I completed a solo album called Sun Cycle, and it's all acoustic guitar, instrumental guitar, 16 tracks. And so I've got that out on Bandcamp, Spotify, where people can hear it now.
Do you collaborate online?
I did with DCKM. Yeah, with Kirk Markarian. He lives in Arizona. So we had to sort of go back and forth electronically, basically, online in order to compose our music.
So I know you're getting ready for a show with Margie, right?
That's right. Yeah. So Margie and I have a show that's coming up at Olive Gallery in Chicago. And the title of the show is Swim. And it opens March 12th and then runs through April 3rd. And so there will be an opening March 12th, albeit probably a smaller one and a masked one, of course. And then on March 20th, I'm going to do kind of a artist talk musical performance along with Margie. My wife, Margie, is showing with me at Olive Gallery. And so that is something I'm looking forward to. That'll be the first time that I've really performed live in over a year.
So is it going to be your paintings, and is Margie going to do paintings or sculptures?
Margie is going to feature some of her sculptures, and I will have paintings. Yeah.
The new ones, I have had just a very emotional reaction to the new ones. Can you pinpoint the shift? I mean, because they're obviously your paintings, but they're just so much deeper even.
You think so?
I do think so, yes. I mean, you've added different elements, some geometric elements, some realistic elements.
Okay.
Well, real quick, we need to wrap up here for this special segment. Tell us how people can find you online real quickly there.
Well, you can find me online at davidkreiner.com. That's my website. And then I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, David Kreiner.
Very good. Well, we appreciate you coming on this special segment of Art in the Air, David. David Kreiner, their artist and musician.
Thank you, David.
Thanks for having me.
And now during our special segment of COVID-19 update, we have someone who's been on our show before talking about that. She's an entertainer, comedian, lives in Hammond, Indiana, from Salinas, California. Jeannie Rabstead, welcome to Art in the Air, our special segment.
Well, thank you very much, Larry and Esther, for inviting me back on your program. I'm delighted to be here.
Welcome, Jeannie. We're always happy to see you.
Thank you.
Well, what we'd like to do is let's kind of update us how COVID-19 over this past almost year has affected you both personally and professionally.
COVID has had a profound effect on my business, number one, because as we know, my comic sketches is directed toward upscale senior residence communities, and they've just been virtually shut down. So I've been missing going in and performing my show for the people. But I did have one gig, and it was in December at the Center for Visual and Performing Arts in Munster. I was the opening act for comedian Mike Toomey. And so I brought 4 characters from my show, Comic Sketches, and it was a lot of fun. I am really looking forward to things opening up again, because I know the older people are looking for some humor in their lives, and my shows, they were always such a wonderful audience for me. And I like playing the communities because, first of all, they have theaters, they have sound systems, and most importantly, they have budgets and an appreciative audience. So it's wonderful to play there. It also affected my humor workshops for business speakers because so many people started working from home. And my humor workshops are a group activity. So we've got everybody at home. So I'm looking forward to getting that geared up again when we go back to work. I had started doing the humor workshops for younger audiences. I did a show actually the workshop, but like a little performance at the end at Highland High School. And then for the Society of Innovators that Purdue University Northwest operates. And I'm really geared up toward marketing that. And then they're not going to school. So it's been really kind of hard. So what I did is I spent my time developing my brand new business, which is a kind of a big deal now. I am Jeannie Rapstead Enterprises, LLC. Thank you. I feel kind of like a big shot. And, but anyway, I'm getting this business off the ground, and it is a product oriented business, unlike my other business, which is just you hire me and I show up and do what I do. But I have developed a rehearsal methodology across multiple technological platforms. And I'm getting a lot of help with this. First of all, I have Indiana Small Business Association, the Development Center. They're helping me get that off the ground. And then Mont Handley over at Purdue Commercialization and Manufacturing Excellence Center. And a class at Purdue University is assisting me with the development of the computer platform. So I got into an agreement with a videographer here who's going to shoot the supporting videos, and I'm, of course, doing the print booklet. So I'm enjoying this process so much because I was telling myself just the day before yesterday when I was contemplating the world and all of its mysteries, if I were wealthy and I just wanted to start a business and I could just afford this, that, and the other thing, I wouldn't be having nearly as much fun putting this together as I am right now. I'm involved in some programs through Elevate Ventures. They support a contest called Elevate Nexus. This is a pitch contest where you go pitch your idea and hopefully win $20,000 pre-seed money. But I applied and got into their training program, which is called Elevate Origins. I've just been meeting some really nice people online that are entrepreneurs in, northern Indiana and as far down as Indianapolis. So I just told myself if I had money to do all of this on my own, I wouldn't meet these people. I wouldn't get these great ideas. So I'm just enjoying the process of this so much. But my target, of course, will be business consumers. That's a major customer segment anywhere. But I have a special place in my heart for underserved student markets because we know that the number one soft skill that employers across all industries want are effective communication skills. But when I was teaching at Purdue University Northwest, I discovered that 15% of my students had never ever given only 15%, had ever given a speech of any kind. So I want to direct my products toward underserved market, which would be homeschoolers, rural students, students in the Indian Nation schools, Bureau of Indian Affairs, Native Alaskans, people that don't have access to trained speech teachers. And so I'm hoping that the business customers will help support my passion, which is the underserved markets.
Before we let you go, Jeannie, tell us about how people can reach you and everything like that.
Yes, they can go to my website and send me an email, jeannerapstead.com, and then there's a little place where you can send me an email message, or you can just send me one directly, jeannerapstead@jeannerapstead.com. I'd love to hear from you.
Well, thank you so much for coming on this special segment of Art in the Air, Jeannie. We're glad you shared your story about COVID-19.
Yes, thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And in our special COVID update here for 2021, someone who is known to almost all the art community locally. She's an art patron, goes to concerts, everything, just active. She's the Energizer Bunny of Northwest Indiana. I'd like to welcome Mary Levan to Art in the Air special edition. How you doing, Mary?
Aloha, Mary.
I really am doing good. I really am. I miss all the theater things, but I make it up for doing outside stuff.
Okay.
You look fabulous.
Yes, we wish we could show audiences Mary's picture, but she goes like a gangbuster. So tell us how COVID has this past year impacted you as far as what you normally do.
Well, I belong to Memorial Opera Center, Theater at the Center, the Toll Theater. I go to the Beatnik shows, and all of those are closed. So if you can't love the one you're near, you love the one you're with. So I go to the Y. They have Zumba classes there, and they have a class called Silver Sneakers. I call it Silver Streakers.
Of course you do.
and Zumba. So I love the Zumba. That keeps me going. So this morning, I have a friend who works nights. She came to my house at 8 o'clock this morning. We did a 3-mile walk. Then I went to the Zumba class. And now I'm home playing with you guys.
Well, great. So you've been able to do that. I know one thing that you're going to miss out of this year is the Maple Sugar Festival. You're always there as a volunteer. And I always said you're the sweetest thing at the Maple Sugar Festival. So you're going to miss out on that.
But you can go and walk through and look at them doing their stuff. But they're not having their regular routine that they usually do.
Right. So
just ask me about that.
Have you been joining in on like Zoom music things and Zoom performance at all?
Some. I love Facebook. My whole life is on Facebook. It's all there. So there's some good stuff coming on Facebook, and I appreciate what you folks do. That's really great.
Well, we should say that Mary is a supporter of Art in the Air. She's one of our art patron supporters and everything. So tell us, Mary, are you anxious? Have you been out hiking in the dunes? I mean, I know you're out there all the time. You do about 10,000 steps a day, don't you?
That's my goal, but they've fallen by the wayside lately. Those cold days, I just hold in. I thought, screw this. I ain't do that. So, when it was below zero, I thought, forget it. But I do love being outside, and as soon as the weather breaks a little better, today it was great. So I would do that.
So, Mary, do you personally do any painting or writing or poetry?
I have no talent. None.
Drawing?
That's what I appreciate all that you do. You know, I can't do a straight line. But there's one thing that's going on is Region Ale has jazz on Sunday afternoons. So last Sunday, this Sunday, and next Sunday, jazz at Region Ale. All right. I get my fix there. That was good. And I've gone to 2nd Street Studio on Friday nights for a dance class and their dance party. So that kind of helped. And then Monday night, Paul Henry's Art Gallery is not operating, but there is One Best Life at Tinker's Attic, and they have an open mic on Monday night. So I got Monday, Friday, and Sunday. It's all good. It's all good.
You're really booked. Now tell us briefly a little bit about you grew up where in Northwest Indiana.
I was born in Hammond, Indiana, 646 Conkey Street. Went to Wallace School. Struggled all through school. Couldn't see, didn't get glasses until I was 22 years old, but I went all through that time without being able to see and hated school. So when there was a test, I'd go walk in the park in the rain. I never did get smart.
Oh, you're very smart. Yeah. So how did you come to become such an art and music and concert patron?
Because it's playtime. It's all playtime, and that's what I do. I don't do anything that looks like work. They say, you want to help and get rid of the invasive species? No. I'll just walk the dunes. Don't ask me to do any hard stuff.
What are some of your favorite trails to walk in the dunes?
Oh, I love them all. I love them all, from all the National Lake Shore. And Heron Rookery in the spring, and the wildflowers will be coming up. That's great. And I do the Indiana Dunes State Park. And Yeah, I'm out there.
Yeah, we know that.
Excellent. I know you've got the busiest Facebook page ever. With all the things that you do in a day would just floor most people.
Oh, there's a nice exhibit at the South Shore Arts right now. William Matthew Kaplan, a photographer that does refineries and whiting houses, and that's fabulous. You would love his exhibit. And then they've got the World War II poster. So I went there the other day and saw that exhibit. Great.
What are you looking forward to that you can't do because of COVID?
I ain't missing too much, baby.
That's for sure.
I'm playing as hard and fast as I can.
But is there anything that you haven't been able to do that you want to do?
Yeah, I can't grab and hug the guys. They run and hide,
Well, that's Mary Levan. She is Northwest Indiana's Energizer Bunny. She's out there supporting the arts even during COVID. And, we really appreciate you supporting the show and, of course, being on the show. And it's one of these times we have to do a full interview with you, Mary. So thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
This was fun, and I thank you very much. And I'll be watching all your shows. You know that. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mary.
You're both good. Thank you.
You're listening to Art on the Air, WVLP 103.1 FM, and on Lakeshore Public Radio 89.1 FM. And next on our special segment of Art on the Air, we have Jill Chambers, who makes these wonderful ornaments, one of which she sent to me. She's in the Saugatuck area of Michigan, and we were going to ask her about how the pandemic has treated her over this past year. Jill, welcome to our special segment.
Thank you, Larry, and thank you, Esther, both.
Hi, Jill.
So we want to ask you how this past year has gone for you with the COVID pandemic, some of the challenges and everything like that. And or if it's not challenging, what good things have happened?
Well, it started off precarious, I guess would be a good word for it. The West Coast, California area, that started off slow. I think that early on they were hit with COVID, and then a little later, Oregon area, Washington area, they had the wildfires and COVID. So, the orders that I would typically have gotten early on from there came in pretty slow. And I was concerned. Saugatuck itself, the lakeshore, Michigan, we were shut down. A lot of the businesses and restaurants were shut down. So it started off extremely slow, and I was pretty worried, actually. But then all of a sudden, it just got crazy. It became insanely busy. I think when the restaurants opened up along the lakeshore, and I think people were at home and they wanted to decorate their homes. And I ended up having a really great year. And, I think it wasn't, I hadn't anticipated it, and I was taken aback by it. I am very pleased, but it ended up being a huge scramble because I didn't, cut and prep as much as I normally would have because things weren't going well at first. So it ended up being an incredibly busy, last half of the year, and it more than made up for the slow beginning. So, yeah, it went well.
Very good.
In spite of itself. Yeah.
I'm so glad. It's because you don't have a single, it's like your ornaments can be used all year round, and it's not a throwaway item. So I hope you continue to do well.
Yeah, I think you're right, Esther. Also, I think possibly part of it is for years, even though ornaments was my passion and my love, I thought, oh, golly, I don't know how to earn a living doing ornaments. So for a long time, I had kind of a mixed bag. I did wall art. I did all kinds of work. And I think when I really focused on ornaments, which was in the last maybe 5 years, I think maybe also in part is not just, this year maybe would have happened the way it happened, but maybe early in the year as opposed to halfway through the year. But I think, year five is kind of a magic place to be, because I think by that point, you've got some connections, hopefully, and you've got a little bit of a following. That's kind of I think that's fairly typical of businesses, that year 5 ends up being like the year that you really are maybe doing well, I think. So maybe that has something to do with it too. I'm thinking probably, but yeah, it ended up being great. I'm just, I was relieved and I was thrilled, and it's exciting. I have a new website, and I just, I don't know, things are going pretty well. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting how it all kind of morphed into something lovely, just something lovely.
Is there anything that you've missed doing during the pandemic over this whole year?
Gosh, yes. Bewitching Peddlers of Halloween is this fabulous Halloween show, and we didn't get to have it in person this year. I really love meeting with customers. I love meeting with clients and talking with people. I really, 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 really miss that. I mean, we don't get that back. I just really miss that. That was that was really disappointing. But I think we're on track for this year, the last Saturday of September, Marshall, Michigan. So we're still on track for that.
What are you looking forward to doing now?
Well, right now I am still working on my new ornaments for 2021. I should have everything wrapped up and ready to start, posting and listing on my website around the 1st of April. One nice thing about this year is I don't know if it's because I was home in my studio so much more. I didn't have my normal, out and about things that I would do, and I sort of I've done some little different ornaments this year. I've gotten a lot more detailed, and it's really been fun. The illustration quality has become more complex, and for me, it's kind of exciting. I've got some ornaments this year that I'm really excited about, just because I guess I don't know. I don't know how it happened that I felt free to expand this way. When they're more complex, they're more expensive. So there is that. But also because of that, I also did some that were less so that we can keep the price point down for some. So it's a nice mix of ornaments, I guess, this year. I got to do some that maybe I wouldn't have done because they are so detailed. But I also, again, did my ones that were, the price point is such that people can afford to buy them. So it's a nice mix. It's really? A nice mix, but it has been.
You've always been good at keeping that balance, though. I think mixing your.
It's important. It's important. I always feel like everyone should get to have the ability, I hope, to have, if that's what they love, they should be able to have some art. You know what I mean? They should be able to have it, even if, I like making it, more accessible to people.
Real quick before we let you go, what's your new website?
Oh, it's the same. Well, it's www.chambers-arts.com. Thank you, Larry. And I just totally redid it and, made it so it's more accessible, I think, easier to shop at, that type of thing. So a lot of Halloween on there.
Very good.
a lot of Halloween.
Well,
all the seasons, but particularly Halloween. That seems to be the favorite thing to order.
Well, we'd like to thank you coming on our special segment. Jill Chambers, near Saugatuck, Michigan, talking about how the pandemic has impacted her. Thanks so much for coming on our special segment.
Great. Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Esther.
Thanks, Jill.
And we'd like to welcome back on our special segment of Art in the Air, exploring pandemic a year later, with Sholo Beverly, artist in Chicago, and we welcome you to come back to share her story. So welcome back to Art in the Air.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you. Well, Sholo, I've personally rejoiced kind of in your renewed dedication to your art practice, or I guess maybe the blossoming of it almost. And if you could kind of talk about the many facets of this past year, what it's, take us through this past year.
Oh, it's been crazy.
It kind of ignited you in a big way.
It did in a different way than I've ever been. And it was fun. I mean, it's funny that you're asking this because I'm completely having an artist block right now. All the excitement of last year and just like the art was nonstop. And I think something transitioned in me and with lots of things. So I kind of had to like stand back. I mean, I draw every day, but it's my own thing right now. Like I felt like I kind of lost,
Well, you did some really gigantic projects, and there's it's kind of like any body of water. The tide goes in and the tide goes out, and you need both. You need them both. So
yeah. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's about to get busy again with the murals were canceled, and now they're about to be back on. So And then I have a big project this summer that I'm working on. So it's about to get crazy again, and I'm happy. I'm blessed, but it was a nice little break, just kind of, I don't know, just laying low.
So it's mostly so you do drawing, you said. Are you so the murals that you just referred to, are they already planned out, or are they still things you need to design?
No, they are already planned out. They were supposed to go up last year and the building's closed. So they are planned, supplies are bought, people are hired. So we're ready to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
What have you missed doing during the pandemic? What has it prevented you from doing? What fun things you like or things you're looking forward to doing afterwards too?
I miss hugging my friends. I miss getting together, spitting on each other, sharing drinks, holding hands. It's, I miss human contact. I mean, I have great people in my little circle, which is great. We're still not, except for Jonathan, like nobody's embracing, but I just miss having my annoying friends around me.
I know, it's kind of amazing because we do normally share food, it's all that has been on pause.
Yeah. So
what about the kids? Do you see do you see Rosie?
My daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's been home a couple of times, but even with her, like we're wearing masks, she has to get a test before she comes home, and I still don't trust her. So my son couldn't come home this year, so the holidays were very different this year. And I'm just like, you know what? It was COVID Christmas, COVID this. Let's just ride this wave. And, spring is on the way. I can smell it.
Yes, the icicles are melting.
Yeah. So
what kind of so is it just drawing, or are you adding watercolor to those drawings? I know you were making your own inks and you were in such a prolific period.
Well, that's still happening, but I'm excited because I'm starting to do encaustic and welding.
Yay!
Wow.
That's excellent.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen, but going to have some fun with it, and then murals.
And so when we're able to gather, did you like teaching? Do you think? And what about your podcast? That was so good. Or the interviews that you did, those were excellent.
Haven't been doing them because people have been doing their own. Like everybody's just on to talking to everybody somehow. So I did a few, but that's kind of out. And I turned down the teaching for the winter, and so I'll probably go back in the spring for one class, or summer, go and teach one class.
Do you have a place where anybody can take a look at what your art is? Do you have a?
Oh yeah, you can go to Sholo Beverly at Instagram, and then you can see everything on Instagram.
Excellent.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, updating us on how the pandemic's affected you over this past year and what you're looking forward to. Sholo Beverly, once again, on Art of the Year special segment. Thanks so much for sharing your time with us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And we continue with our Art of the Year special on COVID-19 update from 1 year ago. And we bring a pair that are familiar to our audience, Billy and Renee Foster. And as you well know, if you listen to the show, you hear them at the beginning and end of every single show. Welcome to Art of the Air COVID update.
Hello.
So good to see you. So we're very curious what your year has been like. What have you been up to? What's going on?
Well, we want to start off by saying we offer gratitude, and we are thankful for so much during this COVID environment. And in light of so many people that have died, we're just really grateful to be able to live a fruitful life and productive with the arts.
We've been staying in like everyone else, but still busy. I've been teaching piano lessons by Zoom. I have a whole list of things that I've been able to do that both of us have been actually. We've been producing a radio show, and during February we do jazz history shows. So we produce shows on Chick Corea, Roy Hargrove, and Art Blakey, and we've attended some virtual. I'm a cancer patient, and I belong to some cancer organizations. So we've been attending some virtual cancer conferences. The AACR has one where on health disparities. They also have, we did a Capitol Hill Day where we visited virtually with some senators and representatives in Congress, U.S. Congress.
That made me feel kind of special because we knew that we were being able to partake of something that really helped so many people as far as those that needed money and funding to continue their treatments. And so with legislation, the various senators and the various people that speak up have a voice in in Washington. They offer help to so many throughout the world, actually.
Does it also cover research, these conferences?
Yes.
And it's amazing.
Actually, what we were doing was asking them to approve monies for research, for cancer research.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Have you been doing a lot of composition or things now that you're inside, and have you focused more on that?
I have that. As you know, I wrote a song for COVID.
Which we played on the show.
And I also wrote a voting song.
And we played that one also.
Out and vote. Somebody asked me not long ago to write some music for a documentary, so I'm going to start on that. I don't want to say what it is because it isn't finished yet. So,
which is exciting, and I can say from the last time that he did, not so much a documentary, but when he did the Jazz Vespers, it was very interesting because from the spiritual standpoint and the music, I asked him, how did he come up with such interesting and beautiful music? And he said he had somebody along with him. And you said somebody helped you along the way.
Right.
Well, who was that?
Well, who's helped me to be here? God, in my estimation.
Yeah, but it really is. It is something when you talk about music and being creative. It's a lot to it.
It's certainly a divine gift.
You're doing classes. I know you've done this one in March about jazz history and things. And what other classes? And those are by Zoom, I think, about jazz history. And of course, you brought up Chick Corea, which is a great loss to the jazz world. I don't know if you want to speak to that briefly.
He certainly is, of course. About the jazz classes, I'm doing those for Indiana University Northwest, the Senior University program. And we've done, several of them over the years, but we've done since March. I think this will be my third topic. The classes usually last for 2 days.
And he also does private Zoom lessons, and he has students, and they range in from young youth to seniors who participate in his classes. And they're finding it interesting, too, to be able to do the Zoom and be connected to somebody by watching them on the computer and learning. It's not the same, though.
I know. I can personally say I took the big band class, and it was so interesting. So if you have an opportunity to sign up for these classes with Billy, please do so. It's not only a good time, but you learn so much.
Well, thanks, Esther.
But you can also reach him if you're interested in classes on the personal side. You can go to his website, right?
Right, billyfoster.com.
And you can also hear some of your music there, too. So
Renee, last time you said you weren't vocalizing. Have you been singing at all, or?
Actually, I haven't been singing. I've been not so much extrovert. I've been an introvert. And, with all that's been going on, we basically go to the grocery store early, or we'll go to the doctors. We have several doctor's appointments, and we're really excited about being able to have our appointments scheduled for the COVID vaccine.
Yeah, we did do 2 virtual gigs, though, right around. We did a couple of Christmas parties. over Zoom.
And they had a lot of people on Zoom listening to the show. We decorated Billy's studio up with the Christmas ornaments and trees and stuff. It was fun.
Were those private parties?
Yes.
Yeah. How nice.
There were group or organizations who wanted to keep a connection with their members. So it was fun. And they told us that they really enjoyed it.
How could they not?
What are you looking forward to doing once this is all over?
Well, I'm looking forward to getting back and playing some gigs and actually going into the university and teaching.
Well, I'm looking forward to the connections that you have with friends and family and those doing the things that you took for granted a lot of the times, even just being able to go out to dinner or go to church or just go visit a neighbor or see somebody who's ill. It really has taken a toll on my mindset as far as how to reach out to people and connect with them. Because with the loss of, we had several friends that have passed on, some from COVID and some from various illnesses. But it is important, I feel, that we reach out and touch someone and be able to tell them how grateful we are for the connection and being able to enjoy. We want a quality of life. I think that's what we all seek.
I think those of us that are left after this is over will certainly be appreciative.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we all will appreciate life much more.
You know, people in Michigan City are still asking when we're going to do another jazz fest. And so I look forward to doing that. You know, we get asked all the time.
Well, that's a wonderful thing to be able to know that they appreciated and valued it. But as we know, in putting things together, we really have to have a format where people can then, perhaps if we have a GoFundMe or something, give us some type of support to enhance what we do.
Well, the first one, the fest was so magnificent. I think the next one that we do will have that as a base.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Esther, it's been wonderful knowing you because you have a great spirit and you are very creative. I used to enjoy going to your well, did you call it a studio? It's
a gallery.
Gallery, yeah. It was very nice and unique.
Thank you. Well, you both know how much I love both of you.
Well, we feel the feeling is mutual, but we will also want you to know, Esther, that we wish you all the best. And maybe it's like a rebirth. It's a renewing of ourselves. So when we come out, we'll blossom just like a beautiful flower.
One other question.
That's a beautiful thought.
One other question I have is, you do an awards thing every so often. Is there anything in the plans for doing that after we get out of COVID?
Right. We do the awards from our radio show.
Right.
Yeah, we will do that again. Everything, I guess, we have to retrack or reboot everything when this COVID is over.
And Larry, I know that you're very busy still. I call you the ever ready bunny.
It's true. He's involved with so many things.
Yeah, which is wonderful. You know, not many people have gifts like you do, that they can go from one venue to the other.
So, Billy, is there another CD or album in the works at all?
Not presently. Like, the band hasn't rehearsed for a year because we haven't been able to get together. And so, like I say, that'll be part of our reboot, I guess, to get organized and first do some gigs and then look at recording some things. I certainly have music to record.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're looking forward to getting back to a more normal life and everything. And anyway, we'd like to thank you guys for sharing your story with us for this special. And we miss seeing you in person. I know both Esther and I do. And looking forward to Jazz Fest and other events that we can do together and everything, and getting you back out so people can enjoy your music. So thank you so much, Billy and Renee Foster, which you can always hear on every episode of Art in the Air at the beginning and end of the show, our theme song, which I get compliments on all the time. Thank you so much.
All the time.
Thanks.
Well, we adore you both.
Thank you so very much for
thanks,
having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. And good to see you guys.
Good to see you. So much love.
Hello to the wife, your grandson, and your cat.
Thank you. You're listening to Art on the Air, WVLP 103.1 FM, and on Lakeshore Public Radio 89.1 FM. We continue with our special Art in the Air pandemic update, and we have someone we've had on before who does a great job, Lauren Marie Panazzo. Welcome back to Art in the Air on our special COVID update.
Thank
Aloha.
you. Aloha, Esther. Hi, Larry.
Hi. So first of all, we want you to kind of review. This has been almost a year since we talked about this, at least. What this last year has been like with COVID-19, how it's influenced you. We're in a new house now, but, the whole thing, both artistically and personally.
Well, I feel like, personally, I was forced to stare down my own mortality. You know what I mean? It was like, let me just redefine, how grateful I am for my family and for my health, and for a roof over my head. I just learned to break things down to the most basic form and find so much gratitude for that. It was very emotional. I mean, there were times of empathetic, weeping for the whole entire world, sadness, just pure sadness, makes me have anxiety through those months that were so difficult, and getting through that was I need to dig deeper and find out that there's strength within. I have to be a strong person for my family and for what I do and just keep moving forward. But geez, there was some super sadness and huge anxiety in my life.
And so how did Leo react to your tears or your...
Yeah, there was a point when we would just turn on the TV and watch the news, and every single time I would be crying. I mean, it was the whole Trump era of our house. And Leo would be he got used to it. He was like, Mom, you're crying too loud. You're crying too loud again. It just became normal. And so he just kind of, after a while, he was like, oh, Dad, she's crying again. Donald Trump is on the news. I mean, it became really a crazy reality. It was like, no one ever thinks you'll live like that ever, but that's what we were doing. It was unbearable at times. Yeah.
I know the waves came on really strong. I mean, the global impact, I'll just be going through my day and the global impact will just hit me so hard.
Yeah. If you have a heart, you're really hurting. That's the truth. Gosh, if you have a heart that's beating, you're really hurting right now. It's a hard time. I feel like we're coming out of it, thank God.
How's it affected your creativity, your art, and producing it? Has it been a plus being locked in?
I'm going to tell you, I went through a horrid dry spell. I couldn't get my creativity going. It was like writer's block that would make writers run and jump out of a window. It was like I couldn't get it going. I was stuck. And then I was like, okay, just get yourself together here. The outside world is completely falling apart. Well, you need to go inward then. Gosh, so, I started to do some inner work. I started to rebuild myself from the ground up because I felt so lowly. I was just down, on the ground and depleted, exhausted, and so worried. And I was like, this is it. Let's start right here from the ground up, just start moving upward. Then I started thinking, okay, just the earth, the universe, the cosmos, even beneath the ground, it's sprouting, it's growing, there's life there, it's bursting forth. It's like the blade of grass. It's not going to think twice before it shoots up through the dirt. It's coming, And then so I was like, all right, let me just look at the heavens above me. Let me try to count the stars. I was like, I'm going to be okay if I involve myself and dissolve with nature, lose myself in the pattern of life, which continues always.
So when we talked to you almost a year ago, you were working on the Madonna. And I remember saying, you were hammering out tuna cans. Did you finish that? Did you finish her?
Yeah. Well, the Madonna is the Play-Doh Madonna of the pandemic, where I save all the colorful Play-Doh circle tops from Leo and Enzo too. He still does it. Don't tell him, huh? But yeah,
I do too, though. So
I love Play-Doh. I'm just be like, let me make a scrambled egg out of Play-Doh. Let me make strips of bacon. It's therapeutic. I love it. So the Play-Doh, the Madonna of the Play-Doh pandemic, just this beautiful crown, all those colorful Play-Doh lids. She's almost done. It was so touching and beautiful. And, those tin cans were for Joan of Arc.
Oh.
So, I hammered that all out. She's got a helmet. She's so awesome. She's got half a mop for her hair. She's coming along too. They're almost ready. I've got 10 brand new ones. They're crazy. They're fun. They're wild. They look like they should be in a museum in Amsterdam somewhere. They just look like real people. It's crazy. You guys will love them. They're wild.
We'll be anxious to see them.
Where can we see them?
So, it's like that's the other thing. The pandemic shut down my open studio. Not only did I go inward myself, I had to come in my house inward,
No, I meant via like a website or something.
It's Instagram is my new favorite place. I love the community I have there. And I'm just starting to just transfer all my posts from Instagram and share those on Facebook. So I stay with Facebook because my local people are here Facebook, but also global and like more international for Instagram. I prefer the global kind of love that comes from Instagram. And I load new things into the art shop just this coming weekend. This is going to be my new collection coming. So the Cosmic Botanicals are up there, the big sculpture bust, and then I have a handful of owls and birds. So I've been very prolific. Once I got over the darkness of that block, I was like, here comes the water just flowing. It's like a minute. Yeah, like that rapture work where I can't stop.
Well, we thank you for updating yourself on COVID-19, how it's affected you, Marie Panazzo. Thanks for being on Art in the Air Update.
Thank you. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Esther. You too, you guys.
Hope you've enjoyed our COVID-19 update special on Art in the Air. You've been listening to Art in the Air, and we'd like to thank our guests this week. Art in the Air is heard every Friday at 11 a.m. and rebroadcast Monday at 5 p.m. on WVLP and Sunday at 7 p.m. on Lakeshore Public Radio 89.1 FM. Thanks again to Greg Kovach, WVLP Station Manager, and Tom Maloney, Vice President of Radio Operations for Lakeshore Public Radio. Underwriters for Art in the Air, Walt Breidinger of Paragon Investments, and Mary Levan, Arts Patron. Art in the Air is supported by an Indiana Arts Commission Arts Project Grant and the National Endowment for the Arts. If you're interested in being a guest or sending us information about your arts-related event or exhibit, please email us at aota@brech.com. That's aota@brech.com, or contact us through our Facebook page. Your hosts were Larry Brechner and Esther Golden, and we invite you back next week for another episode of Art on the Air.
Aloha, everyone. Have a splendid week.
Express yourself through art and show the world your heart. Express yourself through art and show the world your heart. You're in the know with Esther and Larry. Art on the air today. Stay in the know with Larry and Esther. Art on the air our way. Express yourself through art and show the world your heart. Express yourself through art. Express yourself through art and show the world.